Yo, everybody. We are back in the saddle. We got Dane back with us.
His balls escaped from the zipper.
Yeah, we had a theory going.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, we had a bet going, actually.
Well, we didn't know where because you just said you weren't coming, so we were theorizing on where you were. And my theory was you got your balls stuck in your zipper and you couldn't sit down. So,
right.
Yeah, it was an emergency.
And you just kind of, nervously walking around your house, like with your balls hanging out.
Yeah,
like,
trying to figure out
I could have done the podcast, but I would have had to stand up the whole time. You have
Yeah.
to look at my cock the whole time.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I was like,
you couldn't have pointed the camera up a little bit. You would just been like, fuck it, this is all I could do.
Yeah, well, he wants sympathy.
Yeah,
Points.
true.
If he's going to record the podcast, he can at least get sympathy points for it. But
I
yeah.
like that being a challenge of you having to like decide when to switch over to Dane's camera.
Yeah.
You're like, he's talking. I guess I'll go over to his ball sack.
Goes to his pinched ball sack. But yeah, glad your ball sack's unpinched, Dane.
Yeah. I ripped it out.
You ripped it out?
Yeah.
Dane gave himself a vasectomy.
It's like ripping off a Band-Aid. You just got to get it over with.
Yeah.
That's
No,
so
what I
nice.
usually do is I'll just zip it up past the ball sack. So
Oh.
there's just a little bit of chunk in there, a little bit of ball sack
Oh.
stuck in there.
You
You
should,
just gotta muscle through it,
You know
go
what
through the
I-
rest of your day.
if you ever do get your balls caught in your zipper, you might as well take advantage of it and get them pierced.
Your ball sack?
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's gonna make anything better.
Yeah, because it's already hurting and you've already kind of like cut. Because like I know
you can't pierce your ball sack,
No, no.
babe.
When
That's not something you can do.
you can pierce your ball sack. You can pierce through your dick rod. You can pierce through your shaft if you wanted. 1. Okay. 2, you can, when they pierce your nipples, they clamp your nipple really, really hard before they pierce it. So I imagine they probably do the same thing with your ball sack, right?
I don't think
This
you're
is
too...
the fastest anyone's clicked off a video in YouTube
Oh,
history.
it's called a stotal piercing?
Yeah, right through the shaft.
Wait,
baby.
what the fuck is this? What language is this?
Oh, it's
Stotal
ancient.
piercings, also known as hafada piercings.
Woo!
What is this?
I've
Arabic
fought a lot
or something?
of pain. Yeah, Arabs are doing it. No, I'm just kidding.
Are those that are placed anywhere on the scrotum itself?
Oh, okay, that's the scrotum one. Look up the one that's through the shaft.
An individual may opt for one, multiple, or even create a scrotal ladder with any number of jewelry options.
Scrotal ladder?
That's kind of
See?
awesome.
So you get it caught in the zipper and you get a scrotal ladder to like commemorate it. What do you think?
I think that
Dave?
is the zipper piercing.
Scrotal
I would
ladder?
call that a
Sounds
scrotal
like a
ladder.
theory. Sounds like a cool science theory.
Scrotal ladder. Yeah, there's like a quantum physics guy who's like, yeah, string theory is cool and all, but I'm a scrotal ladder guy. Scrotal ladder. We're all on a ladder on a scrotum.
Okay, so, man, I had some important shit to say.
No, yeah, I'm sorry. I derailed it. What else?
Okay, so CEO shooting,
Gotta go.
Luigi's mansion.
Did you guys talk about that last week?
We did
A little bit, yeah.
All right.
Mostly.
First half of the podcast was Luigi's mansion. Second half was... Oh, we didn't know his name. We didn't know who he was.
No, we didn't know who he was.
Yeah, he was still at
Nice.
large.
Yep.
And we were all in danger, I'm sure.
I was so scared. I was so scared. I was like, what if he comes to my house?
I was so busy
He
grieving
gets me.
Brian Thompson that...
Oh, yeah, we were trying to
Yeah.
figure out we were trying to remember what that guy's name was, if it was Brian
I
Jackson.
still think it... I'm still not sure. I think it's Brian something.
It's Andrew Jackson.
Oh, he came back from the dead and they shot him again. I mean, not again. Wait, was he shot? No.
No, I don't think so.
He's
Shot
Probably.
at?
That's not important.
Okay.
We're trying to stay on topic.
Sorry.
here.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no.
Use your brain.
I'm really hyper today because you took me to a diner. It's your
I'm
fault.
hyper today.
Sorry.
because you
All
took me
right.
to a diner?
Yeah. Yeah.
You took me to a diner. You can't take me to a diner. It puts me in a really good mood.
I see.
I don't know how to digest endorphins fast anymore, so they stay in my body and I get all loopy.
Okay.
Well, Luigi, based?
oops.
Well, okay. I am a woman
No way.
on the internet, and so I don't want to say it first. So I'm going to ask you instead your opinion. and then I'll adjust my response to what you say. Dane, how do you feel about that?
What? Huh?
Luigi based? Question mark?
Oh, yeah, that's what I was asking.
No, I know. But
I'm just asking the question.
No. See.
Here's
my
my
response.
answer.
Okay.
Do I go first or you?
No, because I'm a woman on the internet.
Oh,
It's more dangerous for me to answer first.
True.
really?
Of
is,
course, yeah. You have to answer first, and then I'll adjust my response accordingly.
Look, I don't like that gun was used in a violent manner.
So you would rather a knife?
I like
or...
the idea of you just saying, like, I don't like that a gun was used.
Yeah, okay.
First of all,
It needs to be hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah,
he's
right.
a coward for not killing him with his bare hands.
He's a bit of a coward. Shoot him literally shoot him in the back.
Yeah.
Although, I am a little sick, and I did intentionally seek out the actual video because a lot of the videos that are being played on the news they cut before anything happens.
Oh no,
I was
I
like,
saw that.
Oh no, I want to
video.
see what happens.
I'm.
It's crazy. He shoots him in the back,
Mm-hmm.
and then he turns around and looks at his assailant right before he shoots him one more time. It's very movie. It's cinematic.
Yeah, no, it's cinematic.
It's
I mean,
crazy.
He's like manually unjamming the gun as he does.
I
it.
just imagine that there's no audio, but I imagine that the CEO guy went, "No."
Oh, you think
puts his hand on
so?
it, went, no.
I think the CEO went. Ah!
Then you say, my balls!
That was the sound. Ow, my balls.
What?
No, I mean,
I imagine the CEO went. Ouch.
ow.
Ouch. He's like holding his side. That's fucking smart.
That's smart.
Here's my new take. It's the same as take I have with hunting, as long as it's done ethically.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, that was
like
as
that.
ethical as
Right.
it could have been. I mean, at least he wasn't denied cancer treatment or something like.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
that would have
mean,
that would have been more of like an eye for an eye kind of
Yeah.
thing. Here's the thing: I, like many other Americans, hate healthcare companies, especially the one that denies 33% of their claims. Especially since, first of all, a lot of people who don't live in the U.S. might not realize this, but it is illegal to not have health insurance.
Yeah.
Wait,
You can get in trouble.
Excuse me?
Well, it's basically, I think how it works is
didn't
like
know that.
you're essentially just going to be fined or something. Like you end up paying
You won't go
for
to jail,
it,
I don't think.
basically, in one way or another, like in your
yeah.
taxes. I forget what specifically it is, but like, yeah, that's why it's like part of your filing your taxes is like.
It is so hard for me to like. I'm telling you, Dane, the first time I got a medical bill in the mail, surprise style here, I was so angry. I was so angry. I could not control myself. I was like fucking just like yelling profanity. I couldn't believe that.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that because we paid something at the desk after it
Yeah,
happened.
you think it's over.
And I was like, oh, that was okay. That was reasonable. And then we got like I got like a $4,000 bill for like testing my cancer cells. It was like, cause she took one.
Well, it's always
wasn't
random. I think
consent.
for her, it was.
They didn't know that one, she didn't tell me how many samples she was going to take during that biopsy.
And they never tell you, like, hey, listen, for each additional sample, it's going to be an extra grand.
$1,000.
Yeah.
I didn't ask for that.
Yeah.
And then she didn't even know how much it was going to cost. I paid like $300. I was, and then it was the lab testing.
Yeah, you're like, oh, American healthcare ain't that bad.
I was like, it sucked. That sucks ass. But like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Like, I was so mad. So it's hard for me to understand that I'm shocked that it took this long. I'm going to be honest.
I know, right? That's what the first thing I said. I was like, so there's been a double assassination attempt on Donald Trump this year.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I guess trying to assassinate political leaders is back or whatever.
Yeah.
It's back in fashion. And then when this happened, I was like, oh, wait, yeah, that actually makes a lot more sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because now the country is not even really run by political leaders like Donald Trump.
No.
Like in the literal sense, it's basically run by corporations.
Yeah. I
And
mean, Did you
for-profit
see?
corporations specifically.
Did you see who donated very zealously to Trump's inauguration campaign? Zuckerberg donated $1 million, and then almost like immediately after, Amazon donated $1 million.
That's great. I mean, they gotta fund their interests. Or
Well,
whatever.
they got to
But,
fucking. I think it's all. I mean, I imagine I haven't read into it, but I imagine they're doing that just to be in favor of the like fascist regime.
They're
right?
doing this.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Maybe he'll be lenient on us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe he'll give us little goodnight
Yeah.
kisses and give us break. Well, the other thing he's doing is proposing that the government regulated like reporting crashes for automated cars.
Oh,
He's getting rid of that program, so Elon's Teslas don't have to report their crashes anymore.
really?
Yeah.
That's fucking
Interesting.
crazy.
Yeah, that happened really recently. I think either they were talking about it today or
Yeah.
So
Okay,
they're really
well, I'll
they're
look into
cooking.
that.
They're cooking.
well, to finish my thought though,
yeah, sorry.
no, it's okay. I like the weave. You do this thing that you call the weave.
The weave.
But the thing I wanted to say was, I don't like that a man was killed over it. But if somebody who is politically charged were to kill someone, then that would be the one to do.
Yeah. I mean, there's this musician on TikTok who's a folk musician that I really like listening to. And one of his lines was you get the recipe for the cake that you bake, basically, which is like him talking about how like you baked this cake. Like, here you go. Here's the end result of it.
Yeah.
And like that's kind of like the best way to put it. As in like, again, the objective truth. We talked about this on last podcast because I actually was talking about, in therapy, struggling with not being sad over it, right? That I saw somebody die and I wasn't like, usually I do feel extreme empathy, even in like really complicated situations. I feel extreme empathy when someone passes. But this one I didn't. And I really wanted to explore that at like therapy. And basically, it just comes down to like, I think a lot of people want accountability, and like it is objectively true that like murder is bad. Like murdering someone, putting an end to someone's life. Nobody, in my opinion, I'm like anti-death penalty. I don't think anybody should decide when somebody else should die. I don't think any of us have that like authority. And I don't think the system should have that authority. But I get why it happened.
Yeah.
You
I don't like it, but I understand why it happened.
Yeah,
And the best thing that come from it is exactly why he did it, which I think is good, because whenever somebody does something extreme, usually people's reactions to it are not what the person who did the extreme thing wanted.
Yeah.
But in this case, it seems to have had like basically the effect that he was going for.
Yeah,
If you read his little manifesto that he wrote really quick, or allegedly wrote.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of people who don't think that it was really his, but clearly he did it because he thinks that the healthcare companies are scamming people when they are. I mean, like I said, healthcare is like, you have to have it, and then so you have to basically subscribe to one of these companies and pay a monthly fee for them to do something, and then they're allowed to not do that thing.
Man,
It's like so dumb. Doesn't make any sense. That should be illegal.
Well,
it's like, you know what I mean? Like, why do I have to do this?
It's like
you're
legalized
not gonna-
negligence or something.
it's legalized
Right.
racketeering, isn't it? Isn't it like organized
I
crime?
don't know what racketeering is.
Well, it's like basically like organized like holding people hostage and like forcing them. It's criminal activity. It's like objectively criminal.
Well, that's why I say negligence, is because it's like, I don't know. It's one of these things where there's always some level of deniability, where it's kind of like, oh, you didn't go through the 55 hoops that I set up for you.
That's
like,
what
why?
the crazy thing. Like, I don't know if me and Ian have talked about this, but Dane, I don't know if you knew that. Like, they have an AI system that they've implemented, and its whole job is to deny 80% of the time, like, people's like requests, and then you basically have to push through the denial and like talk to a human, and you have to like persevere through it to get your like approval for a procedure that should be approved. Like they're putting in these extra systems to like discourage people from getting what they paid for and what they deserve. Which is like, can somebody look? Do I have my phone? I want to look up what racketeering means, because I feel like it's like organized crime at that. Isn't that like criminal to do, or are we not? What, I don't understand. What
I mean,
it's just racketeering.
If it's something that is legal, that should be illegal, I think.
Racketeering is a pattern of illegal activities that are carried out by criminal enterprise to make a profit.
It's racketeering.
Well, I mean, it gives a list of like literally everything: murder, kidnapping, gambling, arson, robbery, bribery, extortion. I mean,
it's racketeering.
There's a lot of healthcare companies, and I think beyond healthcare companies, that are currently in class action lawsuits.
He was
about
this guy who was murdered.
Cigna, one healthcare provider, is I think they just settled a class action lawsuit for like $33 million, and now they're straight back into one for AI claim denials. And their United Health, I think, is as well as involved in one right now.
Yeah, weren't they like dumping without telling their shareholders? They were like they were doing something with
they're using an AI model that has been shown to be like fucking 90% inaccurate or something.
There was that, but also I'm pretty sure they were doing like buyback, like illegal.
It was like insider trading.
Trading.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, and
crazy.
He didn't tell his shareholders, and he was. I think he was like in civil court for that as well. So
what I'm frustrated in this whole thing by is I looked this up today because I've always heard this term, pearl clutching. And I was like, what the fuck is pearl clutching? Yeah. But it came to me because I was like, I feel like I'm seeing some pearl clutching going on here. A lot of pearl clutching.
Yeah, from Ben Shapiro.
From Ben Shapiro, from Piers Morgan, from every like...
From the bootlicker types, yeah.
And it just really astounds me and frustrates me to no end. Like if you personally believe that this was like the worst atrocity ever, like that's fine. You can have your personal beliefs, but to like push this narrative and to actively like get offended on public TV on the internet and be like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that people are celebrating this. You're laughing. You're laughing at this.
How can you laugh at a man's death?
Yeah, and it's like, it's just so dishonest.
It's dishonest.
Because they don't feel that way.
No, I don't
like,
think
they
so.
don't. Like, it feels like the literal definition of pearl clutching.
Yeah.
Because it's the shock without any of the feel.
Yeah.
It's all, like, performative.
No,
and it's
you're
like,
right.
you don't care about this guy.
It's those people's jobs.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
No, that's true. Because they're all funded by, and people have been pointing this out, is like, if you ever were unsure of where the media sits, like they're there to protect the billionaire class, right? That's who funds them. So of course they're going to like, and they do this all the time, right? You see this in different degrees in society, but putting certain human beings on pedestals and treating them the way that we should treat every human being, but you never see them treat every human being that way. There's no nuance.
So stark.
Yeah, there's
like,
no love. There's no care, and it's ironic that you have this guy who murdered. It was a public lynching of a man in New York on a bus or on a train.
Jordan Neely, are you talking about?
Yeah, Jordan Neely. There was this murder that happened, and then you had the murder of the CEO, and they're talking about it on the news, and it's very obvious that one of those people is viewed as a human being with nuance, no matter how complicated their life was, right? This man objectively has made millions of people's lives worse, right? Objectively. They can look at the nuance of him still being a human being and deserving of respect and love and whatever. But this man who was unhoused and performing and may or may not have had mental health issues, drug issues. I don't know what was going on. I've heard different things, whatever. They cannot see the nuance. They do not sift through all of the complications of being a human being and give him the decency of being a human. And that's why I view it as pearl clutching, because I know if I've sat on the internet and seen children picking up their parents, pieces of their parents off of the road, right? And I've seen that, and I've seen the suffering, and there's no outrage on the news outlets for that. This guy getting shot in the street, and everybody crying like this is the biggest crime of humanity in the world that we live in today. I just don't buy it.
Well, and all of the well said, babe.
Oh, thank you.
And all of the topics of, or specifically the topic of, I mean, you alluded to it, fucking children dying in Gaza and elsewhere.
Yeah.
Like, it is very, it's very much happening.
Yeah.
And we're all aware of it. And the lack of, because I would believe it from Piers Morgan's mouth if it felt like there was any type of consistency.
Yeah, no.
But it doesn't seem to happen. And a lot of the media that I've seen lately, like, this has been a good year for showing, or for the potential to show your empathy.
I know.
For people.
Yep.
And the fact that it's like, it's really in your face now. It's like, hold on a minute, guys. Like, let's not celebrate anything, guys.
Yeah.
What the hell? This is wrong.
It's crazy.
It's very weird.
After the Kyle Rittenhouse incident, it's insane.
That was an interesting... I have been loving the comparisons that people have been bringing up.
Yeah.
That was astounding to think about that. Like, oh, shit, yeah. Like, that is...
I'm pretty sure
compare those events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He drove to a place with a gun.
Out of state.
Uh-huh. And I think he also permanently paralyzed. Yeah. He not only killed someone, but he also paralyzed someone. Like an EMT or something.
Crazy.
Which is insane.
Pretty recently, like in the last week, weirdly the same week that this happened, I think, a guy who was, and I had never heard about this because the media doesn't report anything like this ever, but a guy was acquitted of charges that were made against him where he apparently strangled a homeless person.
That's Neely. That's
that's the one Anissa was talking about.
Yeah, it was. And the dichotomy. You're correct. It's insane. The dichotomy between these two like things that happen very close together. And I was talking about this where sometimes it feels like life. It things happen so like conveniently that it's like hard to believe that it's random.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Because like that is crazy that happened in New York.
The exact opposite like situation where it's just like guy kills the poorest person.
Yep. Yeah,
and
literally.
He's allowed to do that.
Yep.
Guy kills the richest person and he's probably going to be going to jail. Which, by the way, I hope that if he is sentenced to any amount of time in jail, that there will be a lot of people having big problems with it. Like,
well, I will say, interestingly, there was there's something called a jury can. There's a something justice. There's a phrase that a jury can basically find someone like technically guilty of doing something, but not like doing the thing, but not guilty, and they can walk free. And people are calling it. I think his name's Abe, Shinzo Abe, Japan's the assassination of Japan's president, where they basically found out that like he was heavily involved with this cult that had scammed and bankrupted this guy's mother. And so this guy assassinated him, and when people found out why he did it, all of Japan was like, that's understandable. They were like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So interesting.
So it's very interesting, and I am curious what is going to happen, because I can't imagine that they're going to find a jury that will. I'm very interested in it. Either way, but there's a couple of things going around that I think are interesting in that. There's a lot of people saying that it's a bit muddy because they were probably tracking him in a way that's in a legal gray area. And so they don't really want to like share what actually kind of like led them to him. I don't know how true that is, but there's just been I've seen some people like talk about that.
But it hasn't been confirmed that well,
There's been a name floating out there for a McDonald's worker that did rat him out. It's a woman. I don't want to repeat the name because I don't know if that's actually true.
I find it interesting that there are even people who would rat someone like that out, or even people who are like not grifters like Ben Shapiro or Piers Morgan or whatever, who it's not their job to defend the billionaire class, and yet they do.
Yeah. No, I know.
I do wonder if a big reason why they do that is because they believe, because I think that it is rooted a little bit in people's like high ambitions of themselves, or like high idea of themselves. They believe that they one day are going to be a billionaire.
I think that's part of it. I also
and they're like, oh, I'm defending the future of my brethren, or whatever.
I try to
count
not
themselves among them.
Direct like my anger too hard at someone who's like a McDonald's worker who's reporting for like because it was a $50,000 like a reward, or it was supposed to be. I try to remember that, like, if I was a mom who had kids that needed to eat and I'm really struggling and I'm working at McDonald's and I see $50,000 sitting in front of me, I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I suppose in that specific instance, it doesn't really apply because she could have just done it for the money and not really cared that much about it either way. But
yeah,
I'm just talking about also just there seem to be a lot of people even outside of this specific situation who love Elon Musk or whatever, even though like that don't even that he's like an antithesis to everyone's lifestyle.
Yeah.
But people are just like, oh, I love the guy, and I think that like,
I don't get it.
I do think that it's because they think that they count themselves among him or whatever. They're just like, I am also a billionaire, like a future billionaire, like genius.
Yes.
And so I think it's just like people's delusions about themselves. I honestly, if there's anyone listening to this who thinks that they're going to be a billionaire, just
you're not.
You're not going to be a billionaire.
Yeah. No,
it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I agree that there are a lot of people who I think it's two things. I think there's a lot of people who maybe are radically honest with themselves and are like, if I had that, I would be the same way. And maybe that is what it is, you know? Like, I would imagine that's part of it. But then I think you're right that there are other people who are like, that's the dream. And I will be there. And if I start, it reminds me of like people who, Mr. Beast, when he was like, go fix my chocolate bars. Right. And like, people were ready to do it because they were like, if I show that I'm down, then I will be brought up. It's the same. It's really interesting because I do think it plays into intersectionality and like there's a lot of people who talk about like white women are often more racist than white men because white women are performing for white men so they can stay in proximity to
they're proving how
privilege.
Loyal they are.
Proving how loyal they are. Like back in the day when people owned slaves, white women were more harsh to the slaves often because you're proving yourself. And you even see it with pundits now. Like female pundits often can be really nasty.
Yeah.
And I do think it's the same. You're seeing it in a different way with what Dane's talking about.
I was going to say, you see it big time with Pearl.
Yes.
Because Pearl, it's like the shit she says is more brutal sometimes than the Andrew Tate.
Yes.
It's like, holy fuck, where the hell does that come from?
Yeah, it's so bad. Yeah. And so, like, when you apply it to what Dane's talking about, where, like, the billionaire, like, Elon Musk is bad, but some of these people who are desperately trying to be in proximity of the privilege are often, like, way worse. Like, you read things online from people who are, like, they're never going to be that. Literally, they will never be what he is, but they will like carry out whatever he wants and are so devout. And so I do think it is the same things at play as like the intersectionality of like white women in proximity to white men.
Yeah, and it feels a little bit like I think there's a lot of things at play. I think there's just a little bit of like brand loyalty to it as well.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's
where like Elon Musk is the brand. Like if you love your Tesla, you know, you just love that guy.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of hard to even purchase a Tesla without being like, I'm a Elon fan.
It's also the concept.
Uh-huh.
Like, the tunnels, Starlink, like all the what he's selling.
It feels like ambition. It feels like, oh, this is awesome, and people are trying to fucking tear you down for trying to be awesome.
Yeah.
It's also not being particularly critical in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Fun little fact.
Crazy.
Elon Musk could give every single person on Earth $1 billion right now.
Yep.
And still have most of his money left over. So, if he ever does that, you got to be nice to him.
Oh, if he ever does that, I will.
Some people are just being preemptively nice so that they can get it like early.
Oh, right. They'll be first in line.
Yeah. Because that sweepstakes is gonna happen eventually.
Oh,
well, yeah,
man.
he can do it very easily and still be the richest man on Earth. But
do you know what's insane?
He's not going to do it if everyone's mean.
That motherfucker and his mother, independently both, complained about homelessness this year. As if that fucker could not solve homelessness in America tomorrow.
Yeah.
To know, like, it would have no bearing.
Yeah, if you
on
hate it so much, then just fix it, you idiot.
Yeah, what the fuck? Why are you complaining to me, bitch? Shut up.
Okay, I'm gonna see if this goes to. Oh, perfect.
Oh,
okay.
Look at that.
Okay, so what we got?
I love that he has Breloom on his.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got some details here.
Breloom.
I mentioned Luigi Mansion on here because every time I've tried to like search this guy up, I default to typing in Luigi Mansion.
Sounds very close.
I thought this was very interesting. A 3D printed gun. You can go to the wide.
Yeah, 3D printed gun.
It's very advanced. To do a fucking 3D printed gun, and it's been theory for a long time of like, oh, this could be the new thing.
Yeah, for like assassins.
Yeah, because they call it a ghost gun.
Yeah, because it doesn't have like a serial number.
Yeah.
You don't even have to buy parts.
The one part you do need to buy is a receiver, or a lot of the time, or a machine. You can get it made, I think, at a machine shop or something, but that's what I think what a lot of people are joking about is this idea of like, oh, machine shops all over the country are like, worrying about like their like what was done with their machinery or whatever. So yeah, I mean it's a thing.
Yeah,
it can be done, and it's crazy that that's what it ended up being. There were a lot of people on TikTok that were like, "Ooh, you know what this is? This could be a World War II bolt action spy pistol."
Yeah, they were very excited about it. Ian was telling me about how.
I mean, it's sad because they got their like fucking. They could think that for all of like 3 days until the news actually dropped that it was a 3D printed gun. But it was very interesting, and it made you like it really stoked your imagination. Like, oh, this guy was really plotting. He was plotting, clearly.
I mean, yeah, he was plotting. He also,
but it wasn't old timey in history.
It was futuristic.
It was futuristic, yeah.
It's he apparently fixed bugs for Fortnite or something. He
really?
like fixed like
Civ 6.
A Civ 6, yeah. 300 bugs. He worked on 300 different.
Oh.
He also like. I don't know. I think that it's kind of crazy. I remember being in grade 12. 3D printers were just becoming a thing. I got really lucky where I was in grade 12, and then I went into art school. So, like, the discussion of 3D printers was, like, very exciting at that time. And we were talking about all these futuristic things that could happen, like, 3D printing lungs and 3D printing whatever. And you never know what that shit is actually going to like be used for. Yeah. You could never dream up what nobody was talking about that at the time. Like everybody was theorizing about all these positive, cool things. But like no one at the time was like, you could manufacture guns like under the radar.
It feels so extra as well. It's kind of like, because we're just starting to do better with like, what do you call it? Like metal, like 3D printing metal. Like that's becoming a little bit more popular.
Yeah.
But you look at the plastic and you're like, no way, this isn't a fun. Like, what the hell?
You know what's kind of funny about the 3D printed gun? Because I didn't know that. And the more I think about it, the more silly it seems, because there have been mass shooters who have legally gotten real guns and gotten away with it. And Luigi Mansion has no criminal record, is like, he's like graduated from an Ivy League school. He's a very well-adjusted person other than the fact that he targeted assassin someone. Like literally, he doesn't seem like the kind of person who would do it. He could have just gotten a gun.
Yeah, but that's not as like cool, you know.
Yeah, I suppose.
yeah,
I think honestly, he might have done it just to prove a point, because he's very. I think that he did it specifically to prove that you can 3D print a gun and kill someone with it, because no one had done that before.
No,
I think that he was just like, you know what? If I'm gonna be a trendsetter,
yeah,
then I'm going to. I mean, it's kind of like killing two birds with one stone. I don't know if he is the type of person who is, alarmed about the fact that you can 3D print a gun and get away with it. But him doing it,
I love his
showing
advocacy.
it,
yeah, it's an advocacy for.
I think it's a part of it. I think it's a part of his martyrdom, or the statement that he's trying to make.
Yeah. No, that's interesting.
He literally could have just gotten a gun, but then he wouldn't have made the statement that, no, you can also 3D print a gun.
Yeah.
And that's a problem that you should probably be talking about as well as the healthcare thing.
Also, as a non-American, I want to share this for non-Americans, because this shocked me. When me and Ian used to live in a small town outside of San Diego, or a small city outside of San Diego, there was this advertisement. They used to like spin signs and stuff about non-trackable guns or non-registered guns that you could buy. What was that? They were like advertising that you could buy ghost guns basically at their establishment.
I don't know.
Do you
if
remember
that's specifically what it was?
Yes, because I asked you, I was like, what does that mean? And you were like, that's crazy. I can't believe they're advertising that, because basically what they're saying is that their guns don't have serial numbers.
No, I think it's something around like gun conventions, specifically conventions. There's like a type of law. I think there's like less restrictions on purchasing guns at like less paperwork, less paper trail.
That's
when you buy guns at a gun convention.
I stand by me seeing a sign spinner saying.
Well, yeah, that would be how they advertise it. I think a lot of for a lot of super like anti-government people, libertarian people, they do not. They also don't trust the government, and they do worry about their guns being confiscated or someone knocking at their door in this like Civil War scenario.
Right, where they're donating their guns to Russia.
Right. And they don't want their guns taken away. So if you don't want your guns taken away, you also, much like criminals, don't really want your guns to be trackable, traceable. And that's, even for a law-abiding citizen, it could be appealing to have a gun that the government isn't aware of.
I just wanted non-Americans to know that is
that's
advertised.
A thing? Yeah. That's fair. Yeah.
And it was shocking to me. I was very confused by that. So...
Okay, let's go back to this. It's under PowerPoint, I think.
Okay, I think you just brought it up, but...
I did.
Okay.
I did. Okay, what else? Matched fingerprints to water bottle and protein bar wrapper found at the crime scene. I didn't know this.
Bro likes to eat.
He does. Well, look at his physique.
He had to have his energy.
Yeah, look at his. You gotta fuel that muscle mass.
Yeah, I just thought that was interesting. Just more details about like.
I can't wait. I can't believe he was getting his protein in. He was like, I gotta hit my 180 grams today.
Yeah, he didn't hesitate because he's like, I don't know. The same thing we talked about this last time. Dane was the fact that he was getting Starbucks.
Yeah.
Before the shooting, and it's like, wow, he was calm. This wasn't a. He wasn't going crazy mode.
Yeah, no.
No, I don't think he's crazy at all. I think reading a lot of the things, because people have been basically just snooping on all of his social media and basically linking all the books that he's reviewed and all the movies he's reviewed on Letterboxd, and basically like they looked at his Steam page. He's played 42 minutes of Team Fortress 2, by the way.
Oh shit! Damn.
So yeah, he hopped into the game, checked it out. Yeah, but I mean,
he was a Donkey fan. Did you know that?
Yeah, he quoted Donkey in his yearbook.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. But yeah, I mean, the guy is actually, I mean, from what I know about him, I like the guy.
Yeah.
I think that he is smart, and I think that he knew what he was doing because he's a smart guy. And with people who are like theorizing that he was like an expert assassin, I don't think that he's an expert assassin. I don't think he's ever. It's very unlikely that he's ever like actually shot a gun in any other scenario than like maybe a casual shooting range or something. But I think that he just is the type of person to do his research and figure out what to do.
You know what's crazy? I was talking about this. How there's no one in our like time and age because of the internet appreciates or values delayed gratification. And if you're someone who can harness delayed gratification and be okay with not getting patted on the back every week by like uploading something or like texting your plans or whatever, like if you're someone who actually can sit on something, you have a big advantage, because no one in our world right now is assuming that anyone is willing to take the time. And the example that I gave my therapist was Bo Burnham. Bo Burnham disappeared, and everybody thought, okay, you just gave up your like attention spot on the internet. And then he came back with this massive, it was like a movie that did amazing. And then he went away again, and then came back with that massive Netflix show or
something like that.
And it was like the first time that a YouTuber proved that like delayed gratification just puts you ahead. And I do think that like Luigi was okay with not being patted on the back and like actually just wanted to do this for it was a mission, right? And I do think that is like why he was able to do it. And I think a lot of people, like, I was comparing it to like, I was like, why do all these losers go to schools and kill kids, right? And at the end of the day, it's because they've never worked for anything in their fucking life. So why would they put in the effort to like actually, one, look into why they're angry and alone and disenfranchised, and two, like work on it hard enough to like accomplish anything? They're gonna go after the smallest, most innocent targets that they can just like walk down the road to.
Right. And I mean, people say to read his manifesto, and it's like when I haven't read it myself. I've heard some fucking snippets or whatever.
Yeah.
And one of the snippets was, I'm gonna fucking shoot.
Yeah.
So that there's no innocents being killed unnecessarily in this like assassination, basically.
I think that one you're talking about is actually a fake. The really long one is fake.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah.
He did a pretty short one.
He did a very short one that I read to you.
Okay.
The really long one that has been shared is fake, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah, somebody...
did what I just said, did that come from that?
From the fake one, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. There was nothing about killing. There was...
Well, that would...
yeah.
Yeah. Fair?
But yeah...
I do think that in a way, though, him being caught was something that he wanted to happen.
Yeah.
That's my theory, because like him planning everything out and doing things in the very meditated way that he did. I mean, he wrote like words on the casings of the bullets. Like he wanted to leave behind, like he had like a Monopoly money bag that he left. But I mean, like it was all very planned out and premeditated. So it seems unbelievable to me, which is why there are a lot of conspiracy theories as well. But I think it's more likely that he wanted to get caught. So it's just unlikely to me that he would be in public when he's the most wanted man in America.
No, you're right.
I think that he probably went and waited in a McDonald's until they found him. You know what I mean? Like or at least just, I don't know. I think because the manifesto that was found on him, he immediately addressed the police.
Yeah, he was like,
I think he was just like, hey, what's up, police? You got me.
Yeah.
Good job.
I think it's likely that it was kind of whatever the outcome was, he was okay with it. And the idea is like, obviously you try to not get caught. I think that's the whole point of doing the 3D printed gun. I think that's the whole point of why he was, his face was covered a lot of the time. I think he was legitimately trying to send a message, but also like, hey, if I don't get caught, awesome, but I'm not going to think that I'm so smart as to be able to outrun the federal government.
The surveillance after the Patriot Act, the idea that you could, if they really want to find you, they're going to find you.
Yeah.
It's really funny that they have like when he was still at large or whatever, they didn't know where he was.
Yeah.
They had like literally like 20 or 30 different angles of him riding his bike through New York, and I'm like,
Yeah.
why are there so many cameras in New York?
I
You can
know.
just track. That would creep me out. I was like, you can literally track a guy going through a city if you wanted.
I think also
weird.
like doorbell cameras.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of
that's
that.
another part of it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there aren't a whole lot of doorbell cameras looking out on the street in New York, but
Yeah.
the fact that there were just surveillance cameras looking at the street and
Yeah,
every block.
CCTV is insane now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So it's yeah.
But I do wonder if he figured, because Ian, you're saying like use the 3D printed gun so he wouldn't get caught. I think that might be part of it, but I do still subscribe a little bit to my theory that he used the 3D printed gun as a message, to prove that he could do it. But I think, I think maybe while he was on the run or whatever, he saw the attention that he was getting, and maybe he figured it actually might be more valuable, this thing I'm doing, to be caught and then drag it out. Because the conversation, you know how it is with like the discussion of things lasts like a week or two at most. So I feel like if he wanted to extend this conversation for the entirety of next year, then being caught is a great thing, because like the trial would be a new thing that people would talk about.
And his lawyer's a character.
Like his lawyer's like that he didn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, which is
really funny.
It's a very smart angle to take. I think it's the angle to take.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I think basically the way that I interpret it is, I'm assuming most of the information that they got that led them to him or even tie him to the crime is illegally obtained or incredibly gray.
Right.
And a lot of it would not be admissible in court. And if there isn't beyond, like, you have to just produce reasonable doubt.
Right.
And if there's not if they can't like admit how they obtained some of this information.
Yeah.
So I would be very curious how that like goes. But he's such a character, and I would be curious. I know the French Revolution, when it was kicked off by a guy, or at least he's the symbol of it. He was a young guy who, it's odd the similarities between this Luigi guy and the guy. It's just interesting. So
yeah. On the topic of illegally obtained information, there was also talk of a Faraday bag.
Oh.
Do you know what a Faraday bag is?
No.
Well, I think I've heard Faraday box. It's essentially just a fucking like metal housing, which can essentially like keep, I guess, radio waves or fucking whatever waves from entering or leaving a little container. The way described in the... Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So he had some version of that, I think, is what is being said in the same article that was talking about 3D printed gun, a notebook, fingerprints, all this kind of stuff.
Right. Is that the bag that he was disputing? He was like, I want to correct, like, it's waterproof. At the judge,
possibly, yeah.
Because the judge was like saying that it was criminal in nature, and he was like, no, it's just waterproof.
Interesting.
Was his rebuttal?
That's great. That's a great defense, I think, because I imagine you can find a Faraday bag on. I mean, again, this is like more of this like weird anti-government libertarian stuff where it's like a lot of people
tech bros they love that shit. They love that shit because if anybody's aware of the government's tracking abilities, it's tech bros.
Yeah. And so it could be waterproof and it could also keep your phone from being tracked.
Yeah.
It could be both.
It could be both.
So clever.
Interesting.
Also, this is something that I found extremely interesting. Now, there's been a lot of talk about the Breloom in his, what do you call this, Twitter banner. It's also a picture of what could be his spine with a bunch of nails in it and his thirst trap. Now,
His thirst
This feels so like intentional, like this banner.
Yeah.
This is another reason point to him just being comfortable with being caught.
Yeah.
And knowing that it's gonna go out there, or it's very likely he gets caught, if not intentional. This is something I would put together.
That's true.
I would be like,
no, I know.
I would like,
It's like an ARG.
Yes, exactly. Where it's like, I'm not going to put that much effort into the ARG aspect of me getting caught.
Yeah.
I'll put more of the effort into the, like, committing
Breadcrumbs.
criminal acts.
No,
Probably.
you would.
But this is what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
It's like he could have, like, I don't know, maybe like commissioned an artist to maybe do something that's a little less ham-fisted than this. Like, this shit is like very in your face. 3 fucking pictures. One of his fucking spinal injury, or what could be his spinal injury. I guess a thirst trap picture of him in Hawaii or whatever, in Breloom. It's like it feels like a fucking, like a game that you play in fucking, I don't know, elementary school, of like, find the connection, figure
Really?
this out. Yeah, it feels very
like
rudimentary.
An inscription clicking on the files to me.
Yeah, I mean,
Which is like, I mean, maybe he really liked Inscription. Dane, you looked at his Steam? Is there Inscription on there?
He played an assassin game.
Oh, Among Us. Put in the Among Us sound. Brrr, ding, ding, ding,
I'm
ding.
not gonna do that.
Oh, damn.
Use your imagination. But yeah, Breloom, people were theorizing. I went on fucking Perez Hilton's website.
Oh,
you guys know
classic.
Perez Hilton?
I don't know if Gen Zs know who Perez Hilton is.
Yeah, he's an old fucking YouTuber
Yeah.
that's turned into like a true crime fella.
Oh. I didn't
But
know
yeah,
that.
there's a lot of theories about it. This is like conspiracy theories, basically. But where's the one? There's one about it being. Oh yeah, here we go. The Pokemon, and it says he's number 286 in the Pokedex. So what does that matter? Well, he had 286 posts. So this could be another indication, like Breloom, his number being confirmed, that like this, he wanted us to see this number for a particular reason.
Also, I don't know how true this is, but I saw a picture of the McDonald's receipt that he had on him that he spent $2.86 for a coffee.
No.
Yeah.
That's awesome if that's true.
I don't know if I saw a picture. I don't know. I didn't verify. I was so, but I don't know. Somebody in the comments can.
Oh, maybe this isn't. No. One of Luigi's cousins, Nino Mansion, blah, 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 House of Delegates. But he only follows 286 people. Here he is. This one feels like kind of irrelevant. How are you going to make
Convenient.
How are you going to make good old Nino an innocent Republican?
Yeah, an innocent Republican.
How are you going to make your poor innocent Republican cousin
Poor old Nino.
a fucking... Oh, but maybe that's the strategy the whole fucking time. He's like, I fucking hate my cousin. I can make him seem a little bit culpable. Not culpable.
I
but
think you're
connected.
I think you're Ian braining it too much. That's something Ian would do.
No.
Yes?
No. Okay. It just makes people think, is all.
Makes you think.
But this is the one that is the most appealing to me.
Yeah.
The health insurance denial code.
Yeah.
So it's called denial code 268, and you can like,
286.
Yeah,
Ian
286.
has dyslexia.
What did I say? 268?
268.
Yeah.
Okay, 286. Per the MD Clarity website, denial code 286 is used when the appeal time limits for a claim have not been met. This means that the healthcare provider for the billing entity did not submit an appeal within the specified time frame, blah, 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 blah. It seems very generic, but when I've looked it up, it actually seems like it would be very nice and like well encompassing to deliver in a lot of instances. So I could see many people getting this
So that's
denial claim.
Ian's favorite is a denial claim. My favorite is the next one that it refers to.
Proverbs.
Yeah.
What would a numerological conspiracy theory be without a reference to a chapter and verse from the Bible?
Yep.
Proverbs 286. Better is a poor man who walks in his integrity than a rich man who is crooked in his ways.
And I will say that one I really like because he comes from a lot of money, this guy. And he's basically like, I was talking about like the idea of martyrdom a lot this last week. And the one thing that you do have to acknowledge is that he's giving up a very cushy life of, you know, a lot of money to do what he like did and basically end his life.
I'm very curious though, because apparently he does have a back injury.
No, he does. Like there is things
and
that
I am just like, generally curious about like, I mean, this might be one of the instances where his infinite amount of money, in theory,
didn't help.
actually did, like they
Which
can't
I'm
fix
sure.
him.
I'm sure that did help like radicalize him and because like I've heard some people say that like he could not be intimate, like physically. It was very painful. And there was a doctor, a spinal doctor, who said never let somebody cut into your back because the chances of it getting better are pretty low, and often it makes it worse.
Oof.
So
Good God.
if you go through a surgery and it makes you worse, suddenly like you probably start to realize that money isn't
you know what's
save
funny?
you.
I was hearing, it was like Fox News or one of these fucking places that were commenting on his back injury or whatever. And it's so funny that they'll like in the same breath of them being so absolutely appalled for the lack of empathy for the CEO.
Yeah.
They were talking about his back injury and they were like, yeah, well, killing someone and getting in prison isn't really going to help you for your back injury. If you had
Holy
like
shit.
essentially like if you had struggles like before, now you're in for a world of hurt. Now you're going to really have problems in prison with your back. And I'm like, what the fuck? It's so weird.
It's the lack of like self-awareness in a lot of the
I don't get it. I don't get it. Because it's in the same breath most of the time.
No, I know. Even like, did you see that Megyn Kelly clip of her where she was like, this monstrosity of a killing, a slaying in the street, and then she like looks at the camera and she's like, up next, talking about Neely. Some are calling him a hero.
Oh yeah. Okay, I did see that. Yeah,
literally in the same breath. I couldn't believe it. We don't even need the onion anymore.
No, definitely not.
What is happening?
You know, it was like really like pissing me off the most was I shouldn't have been reading as many Twitter comments as I did, but
yeah,
there were a lot of people who when it was found out who he was and that he came from money, so many people were like, wait a minute, like he's an idiot. Why did he do this if he has money?
Oh my God. I saw some of those too, and it did make me really mad. It made me really mad. There were some people who were like disappointed that it was somebody who came from money. I feel the complete opposite. If somebody was like, it's a rich on rich crime.
Oh, have you seen
I doubt that he's that rich.
Have you seen the opposite?
No.
I've seen articles where they're saying the fucking CEO is the working class hero we need or whatever.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah. He's the real working class guy because he came from working on a farm and his dad was an elevator grain operator or some shit like that.
Oh, man.
He's inspiring
and he worked his way up to the
think
top.
that's what they're going to do.
That's what it is. It's the carrot. It's the fucking like, oh my God, that makes me so mad. Even if Luigi did come from money or more money than this asshole or whatever the thing is, him choosing to like not go down that path is it doesn't make it any less powerful. If anything, it makes it more powerful that like the one thing that is the equalizer, the humanizing thing is that suffering is universal no matter how much fucking money you have. And if the system isn't working, people are going to have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that unifying? I don't know. Hello?
It should be. I mean, the fact that some people's brain immediately goes to, well, it would be nice if I had that money. If I had that money, I wouldn't shoot CEOs. If I had that money, I'd freaking enjoy my time.
If I had that money, then I wouldn't care at all about the corrupt healthcare system because it's not impacting me.
It's not impacting me.
It's so stupid. Like how like
lack of empathy.
Self-aware do you have to be, and like to not realize that you sound like a heartless piece of shit whenever you say that kind of thing. We're just like, if I had money, then I wouldn't care about anyone.
Yeah. Well, it's
so dumb.
If it does end up being true that he actually has a very specific story that really like outlines how awful the system is, even if like theoretically he could have fucking swam through all of the red tape and sat on the phone for hours and hours or whatever to get the care he needed, like if it is that direct, it'll be very interesting to see how it plays out, because I think it just becomes more and more understandable how a person can get to that place.
Yeah. No, yeah.
It's humanizing.
And again, I know I always, when we make we're talking about things that are very nuanced, and I understand we're on the internet and people are going to like hear it and take whatever the fuck they want from this conversation. But I do want to take the time to at least put this disclaimer in here that like, we are not condoning violence. I think violence is bad. I don't think that I just don't want to be amplifying that or saying you should go out tomorrow and buy a gun and shoot somebody. We're just talking about the nuance of the situation and why it is the way that it is. Because I feel like we have to put that disclaimer in here. Okay.
Yeah, okay. I'm not going to yuck your yum. It didn't go anywhere, my rabbit hole, but I was like, maybe there's something more to Breloom.
Oh.
And so I did all sorts of snooping around. I was
like, Italian Pokemon.
No. Oh. I really think it's the number 286. But I was like, it feels so oddly specific, and why Breloom? It's like, there's got to be a hidden meaning in like a millennial's like favorite Pokemon or whatever. There's got to be something here.
It could be his favorite Pokemon.
Yeah, well, exactly. It could be his favorite Pokemon. That's also another thing that I thought of. I was like, oh yeah, it could be that. Some people were saying that he fell in love with psychedelics and shit.
Yeah.
And it's like a mushroom Pokemon, so maybe that.
Well, yeah, apparently, because it's very likely that like whatever, if he had a back surgery or something, or like those nails that are in his back were put there in order to help his back, and they didn't. A lot of people, I was reading, a lot of people who have back problems, they don't get like, it's very rare that you get cured of it.
Yes.
It's just kind of like, it's always going to be a thing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But apparently a very reliable ailment to back problems are mushrooms. So it's very possible that he tried that and it worked, but it had a side effect of making his radicalization more prominent.
Well,
or something.
I will say also, going back to the PowerPoint, if you look at the middle X-ray, there was a doctor who pointed this out. He said, he's full shit. And then he said, literally. Apparently, you can tell that he's extremely constipated in this.
Oh, cool.
I can't tell because I'm a mere human, but apparently that's an indicator that he was probably on a lot of narcotics. Because narcotics, not illegally narcotics, like legal narcotics, because narcotics constipate you. And I know that because after my surgeries, you take narcotics, they tell you to take a stool softener after like a week or something because you're just chronically constipated. So he was probably also just like trying everything to like feel like semi-normal basically. So
I looked up Breloom on Google Trends from like 2004 till now, just like looking for any anomalous activity. And I saw a spike. There was a spike.
Spike from Land Before Time?
No. Oh. There was a fucking spike in the trends of searches.
Sorry.
Okay. And obviously there's going to be a spike now.
Yeah.
But there was a spike back in 2022, December of 2022. And I looked it up. And it didn't result in anything, but I did find it interesting that back in 2022, the competitive Pokemon scene were all about using Breloom and Spore because it was very effective. And I learned a term. It was called OU, which means overused. They were saying that, and I was trying to put the pieces together.
You were like
overused
Charlie
for
with the red yarn.
Yeah, I was trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
I was crazed.
Yeah.
But it only lasted 10 minutes. It was quick.
That's pretty good for you. Because usually when you get into...
If I found something, though.
Yeah, no, I know.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
If I found something.
Real quick, you stopped streaming your... I can't see you guys no more.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, you can't?
No, I don't know what happened.
Okay, show them.
It shouldn't have stopped. Share your screen. How long has it been like that?
The last 3 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well,
surprise.
Mother flipper. Can you see it, Dane?
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw Anissa giving me the bird, which made me sad.
Go to this. Okay, so okay, so I thought this was the funniest headline ever.
They love taking pictures of this guy.
Right here.
Can't stop.
A Pokemon creature is the latest subject of the internet's embrace of Luigi Mangione.
A Pokemon creature. Oh.
A Pokemon creature. Yeah, that's it. That's all I have.
Dude, Nintendo is not having a good time right now.
No, they're gonna sue the pants off of Luigi.
They're going to say, all right, first of all, you can't involve Breloom in this whole charade. And second of all, Luigi would never do that.
Yeah. You can't be named Luigi. It's illegal. We're suing you for copyright. There should be a TM beside your name. Do you think Nintendo's going to stop making Luigi games after this?
Oh, certainly not. They're probably working on Luigi's Mansion right now.
Yeah, they might patch Smash Bros because in Luigi's victory screen he goes bang bang like that.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe they'll patch it out of Smash Bros.
I could see that.
Crazy. You see a lot of Luigi play in Pro Smash now.
Oh yeah, changes everything.
Yeah. Scene.
So Dane, if you were to do a horrific act, not saying like not saying like killing or anything like that, but just something bad, like I don't know, giving someone a wedgie, but like unexpectedly giving someone a wedgie,
wedgie
that you didn't personally know.
Like in the CCTV footage, instead of pulling a silenced pistol, I run up behind the CEO and give him a nice wedgie.
Rip it up.
No. I pants him.
No, wedgie's a little bit more fucking violent,
but and
funny.
A wedgie would hurt him.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay, so if you did that and you didn't want to get caught, or you did want to get caught, whatever. What Pokemon would you have in your banner and why?
Well, what? I mean, he
like for a message to the world like that pisses you off.
I feel like the 286 thing is why he chose Breloom. I don't think that he particularly likes Breloom, but I think that it made sense for him to do that, to lead people down that path.
Right. What I'm saying is, like, if you've been,
I don't know, I would have to find the number. I would have to find the number. I would have to find a cool Bible quote.
Right. Like, what Pokemon is 404? Because I've gone to a lot of web pages that have pissed me off because they 404.
Oh,
okay.
So you want to give like a wedgie to?
So that might be in my
a programmer.
Well, I might.
Pokemon 404 is Luxio.
Okay, I like the sound of that.
It's like an electric dog.
What Pokemon is 69?
Or cat.
What does that have to do with anything, babe? Nothing.
I'm gonna type Pokemon 69, and if I get some, it's Bellsprout. Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's crazy.
So mine would
and
be
he's 69 in a Pikachu.
Mine would be Bellsprout, and it would be like, you suck.
Oh.
You suck, like a Bellsprout would.
Oh. Okay.
The thing is, Ian, your question is hard because I would also want to do like an ARG level thing like that. But it's hard to. I mean, I would want it to be a cool Breloom's a great. I mean, he got kind of lucky that Breloom is that number because Breloom's a pretty cool niche Pokemon. Like he's kind of underrated. He's
true. That's a good point.
He looks like he would taste lucky. Good.
Like it could have been like Sunflora or some dumb shit like nobody likes.
Right, and wouldn't seem very believable. You know what I mean? Like a girly Pokemon like Sunflora.
Don't be a hater of the
sunflowers in general are a bit girly. Flowers are a bit girly. They don't. I'm not saying that that's right. I'm not saying that it's right or that that's how it should be.
Need a little. Ian, can you make like a graphic that she can pull up? It says blink cam at the bottom.
Listen to me. Sunflora is a strong, beautiful Pokemon.
Sunflora. What does it sound like? Something strong?
Yeah.
Is that what Sunflora says?
I'm
pretty sure Sunflora is statistically the worst.
Sunflora.
Dane, finish your thought. Ignore Ian.
Yeah, if Sunflora did that, then that would be worse, I think.
Sunflora on tea.
Yeah.
Sunflora 1 year on tea. No, wait. Sunflora.
I was just gonna drop some Pokemon knowledge on you. Sunflora I brought up specifically because I think it's literally the evolved Pokemon with the worst stats in the game.
Oh.
So it's literally the worst Pokemon besides its pre-evolution or something like that.
Let me say though, it kind of reminds me of Digimon.
Oh yeah,
what?
It gives
Sunflora
vibes.
Sunflora, like the pre-Evo and the Evo remind me of.
Yeah.
What is the pre-evolution?
It's like a little seed with like the black stripe and the
Sunkern.
I know that guy.
I know that guy.
There could have been a new Pokemon that is just as weak, but Power Creep suggests that that's not true. I think that it's still true that Sunflora is the worst.
What if 286 was that freaking guy that's yellow and blue and is like a
Pikachu?
No, Pikachu's not blue, Dane.
Sorry.
The guy who's like a little stinky bug that's flat. And then he evolves into, they recently gave him an evolved form where it's just him repeated.
Oh, are you talking about Dunsparce?
Dunsparce. What if it was Dunsparce?
I think
Dunsparce
that would also
has an evolution now?
Lame. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I like Dunsparce.
No, you will not like this.
No, look it up, Ian.
Yeah, look it
up. You'll
love
it. You'll love his evolution.
I was so disappointed.
All right, get my actually.
Yeah.
Wait, Dunsparce.
Well, go to its Evo.
I'll go to images. Is this it?
Those are all fan ones.
That's what I wish it was.
All right, type in Dunsparce.
Oh yeah, Dunsparce.
But just put DU at the very beginning of that. All right, you just deleted everything and started over.
Wait, is it? Oh, there it is.
There it is.
That's
him.
Oh my god!
Not that one.
Like a
longer Dunsparce.
Yeah.
That is so fucking stupid.
Yeah, that one. There it is.
Oh my god.
There you go. That's what it is.
Truly wretched.
Yeah. What if it was that?
It's so disappointing because
it's an intentional troll for sure.
Really, you think so?
Yeah, because for ever since like 2000,
right?
People have been like, this thing should evolve, and it should evolve into a cool dragon.
Yes.
And you saw all the fan ones. Like people wanted big things for it. And I think Nintendo was just like, it'd be funny if we just didn't do that.
Made it even more lame somehow.
Yeah, because I think that
strong
Dunsparce is supposed to be not really. It's gained a fandom for being kind of underwhelming.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a Magikarp level Pokemon.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, that's a shame.
I'm a Dunsparce hater.
I think it's funny. I've seen.
Okay.
I oh, sorry. I just want to talk no more.
And I should do the blinking again.
Blink cam, put it up. I've seen like people's reactions to it evolving, like on stream when they were streaming it. It's very funny.
I was so mad.
They're like, Dunsparce is evolving. Oh shit! And they haven't been spoiled yet, so they're just like, "What's it gonna be?" And then It's
Fart
just that,
sound.
and they're like, oh,
Yeah, literal fart sound.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this Luigi thing is very interesting. I think it'll be a continued topic for a while.
Oh yeah.
I hope so,
So-
because this has been. I was saying, like, there hasn't been something that's been pretty much universally agreed on. I mean, we've touched on the outliers, I think, for the most part, whenever we're talking about people who are defending
Mhm.
the CEO and being like, oh, Luigi's a monster, and like, why do you do that? And Mario will be so disappointed. Like, they were just making it out to be this like political issue when it's not. It's like a class issue.
Yep.
And because political commentators, whenever it's a class issue, they don't
Know how to act.
they don't have any power. They're just
Yeah.
like, oh, I can't say anything worthwhile because
it's
not
somebody
applicable.
said up versus down issue, not right versus left.
right. Exactly. So I hope that people keep talking about it, and I'm glad that people keep talking about it. You know what also has been making me mad? People are just like doomerism about it. We're just like, nothing's gonna change, you know. It's just gonna. And it's just like, gee, you're fucking fun. Like,
I
why
wonder-
can't you just have a little bit of hope?
Yeah.
Hope
wonder
that
if
like
you're,
maybe something will change because of this. Like, Jesus Christ, you're just like, yeah, nothing's gonna change. We're all gonna just. What are we? I guess we just all kill ourselves or something. Like, what's the point then?
Well, I was gonna say,
You
I
know?
wonder if you're like running in the philosophy bro circles on like in media, the nothing ever happens philosophy bros that have been like
So
kind of
stupid.
running around the internet lately.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting conversation. I was trying
It
to
kind of
explore
sounds
that.
like what Dane's describing, though, is more like
Just apathy.
Yeah,
just general
I mean,
I'm just like I'm
that
so
sucks.
burned out on apathetic losers.
I'm
you know?
burned out on apathetic losers too.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I hadn't heard somebody say that yet, but that is like right there. That's like gonna be my next month. Is my
I like that.
mantra. I'm so
Yeah.
fucking burned out with these apathetic losers who like they think the power of like they can debate anyone and win whatever because they just
They don't give
care.
a shit.
I don't care about anything, and that
Yeah.
makes me immune to your shit.
yeah.
It's like,
I'm
whatever.
fucking over it.
That makes me
I just don't
immune
want to talk
love.
to anybody. I just don't want to talk to anybody who's like that. It's just like,
No.
well, like you're literally. It's like talking to a wall. I don't.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna come of it. What?
How
Like,
about
what's the
they
point of
eat a
talking about
shit
it?
sandwich?
Yeah, true. Shit covered with piss and puke
Ian's so
and tit milk
done with me today.
and period blood.
She can tell. She can tell.
bile
I'm
and-
fucking pissed.
Ian's like, shut the fuck up. I don't know what's wrong with me today.
We're supposed to fill like air. Like we're supposed to like
Yeah.
talk
Mm-hmm.
for this, Ian.
Well, that's true, but just saying the
It's
shit. I don't know. It just for me. I think it's bad for my ADHD brain, maybe or something. Because
Oh,
it
did you
just
take your
takes me-
Ritalin?
No,
or your Adderall.
no.
Oh,
You're
But-
Ritalin?
It's just like fucking. It's a distraction. It feels like because
you don't like when
there's
I'm
nothing
silly.
to riff on.
No, there is something to riff on. You just don't like that I said literally the funniest thing ever.
Okay. Okay.
No,
You're-
I get it. It's because I'm giddy and I'm saying nonsense, and he doesn't like when I say nonsense. When I'm really happy, it's like he's the equalizer. If I'm too happy, Ian like looks at me and he goes, "Really?
Seriously?
Seriously?
Seriously,
say
you're gonna be
that?
jovial right now? Really?
Really?"
Really? In a time like this?
Yeah.
When a CEO just got murdered, you're gonna be happy? You're gonna be joyous and joyful.
And I get it because I'm annoying sometimes. I just get a little bit too high off of my own farts, and Ian's here to tell me to shut up, and that's okay.
I get that.
I mean, I wasn't saying anything. You took you got the hint.
Yeah.
A picture means 1,000 words, and you know, here's a picture of Ian's face.
Well, I'm trying to replicate that Squidward face where he looks like, does this look, what does he say? Does this look unserious to you?
All right.
Nice face. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Oh, yeah, that's what we should do. We should get a cam along with the blink cam. Just a fucking super HD high definition. I don't know why I said HD high definition. Camera like right here so you can see every fucking disgusting pore on my face.
And when it goes to that, a foghorn goes off like in SpongeBob.
SpongeBob. You know what that's called?
Huh.
That has a name.
Really?
It's called a gross up.
A gross up.
I like
That's
that.
what they called it internally at SpongeBob.
Gross up.
We gotta have a gross up. We
That's
should have
cool.
a gross up of Fiona.
Yeah.
You can't see her. She's here today. She's just lying off camera. She got a big walk before we started recording, so she's tuckered out.
She got a master walk before we...
Masterclass.
That's what you call a big walk.
Oh.
It's a master walk.
You gave her a walking lesson, a masterclass walking lesson.
Yeah.
She's so sweet.
Yep. Yeah, so we got 8 minutes left in this whole shebang.
Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, I was going to focus...
Are you sure?
Are you sure?
Well, I was thinking of ombudsing,
Wait, Is it
but...
your birthday? Happy birthday,
No.
Dane! Oh.
No.
The way you were saying it, I thought it was your birthday.
No, I know. I
Oh,
said it. I said it
fuck.
like you should expect something.
Yeah, I thought it was like we fucking forgot your birthday or something.
No, yeah, that was intended to make you nervous. But Ian went through it cool as a cucumber. He wasn't worried at all.
Ian's not perceptive of that. He's like, he had no clue that was happening.
I would like to tell everyone
hear
in the
what we
last
just said.
episode that we appreciate all of their submissions for getting lunch with the GUNCH.
Oh yeah, a lot of
Dane
people
missed out on that.
A lot of people wanted lunch with the GUNCH.
Yes,
That's
and
good.
I will
it in a
inform you
big hat.
guys that all your submissions were collected, and someone is going to win lunch with the GUNCH. Don't know what exactly that means, but we are going to do it.
I really want to dye Merlin's white parts of
Yeah.
his fur green.
I'm thinking what we do is we have a random viewer who
Yeah.
commented on that episode
Yeah.
call in for like, I don't know, half an hour or
And
something.
have Merlin like
interview.
eating green.
Yes, Merlin can be eating some green,
Eating green.
and it'll just be something.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Lunch with the GUNCH.
Yeah.
And we'll have the
It'll be like
graphic
tea time.
flashing lunch with the GUNCH.
Yeah, but that'll be a Christmas gift.
Aw, and I could bake little like tea treats,
Mm-hmm.
dog-friendly tea treats, and put them on a tea tier for Merlin.
Can
I like
you,
that.
Can you please? You know that gif that I always send of that dog eating like slop?
I don't know.
Yes, I did.
Oh.
That in. Are you gonna
Yeah.
link it into the?
I don't know. Maybe you can just bring it up now. Can't because if I just send it to you on Discord, can't you just like?
Yeah, I can bring it up.
Yeah, there
Oh.
it is.
Uh,
How do you bring it up?
That's like
That's lunch with the GUNCH.
it's such a
Over
good. What I want you to do though is I recreate this with Merlin, but just dye like give him some oatmeal. Just put like a bunch of green food dye in it,
Oh,
oh man,
I would
so
like
he
that.
can be eating a bunch of
Okay.
green.
bunch of
That'd be so
green.
funny.
Yeah,
That is a good idea. Okay, so we don't feed him breakfast that morning.
yeah.
We can feed him breakfast.
We'll feed him breakfast.
A light breakfast.
Yeah, yeah, and we'll feed him some.
And that'll be
green.
lunch with the GUNCH.
Yeah.
We'll just have to find some dog-friendly dye.
I
or,
think you need to. Well,
or
why?
dog-friendly green foods.
Well, why? Wait, isn't food coloring dog friendly? Why wouldn't it be?
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure it's all that shit's friendly to dogs.
Okay.
I'll look it up.
Mm-hmm.
But you and I also have to have a Midwest munch or a fucking
I'll
water
make a water
gunch
gunch salad.
Okay.
I'll make a water gunch salad for the. Dane, last episode we had a tournament, a gunch tournament, and
cool.
the Watergate gunch.
Yeah,
He won.
he won
Watergate
miraculously.
Gunch?
Yep.
Yeah.
Congrats to the Watergate GUNCH.
Yeah.
Watergate gunch.
Oh no, I got rid of him. He's not on here. Yeah, someone says the Gunch has been on my mind 24/7 since the last pod. Thank you for putting me on to more Gunches.
Nice.
I love this episode about the Gunch dog show tournament. I'd never heard of this breed before, and it was so interesting to learn about the different competitions. I was also amused by the fact that neither of you knew who Anissa was. It's always super fun to hear about someone's pop culture blind spots. Overall, this was a great episode. I laughed a lot and learned something new. Thanks for sharing.
Wait, what's the thing about not knowing who Anissa is?
We brought up that AI message that you or comment suggestion.
I love that.
Yeah,
Okay,
that you got, and I think they basically made their own AI version of a comment.
I really like that.
I felt like I needed a comment to say that I will watch every episode of this pod. It's my favorite, but I watch them on Podcast Addict now, and Issa belly laughing at Ian is the best.
Aw, that's so sweet.
Salivating at the thought of Gardevoir Grunch.
It sounds very good.
That was another food that we came up with is Gardevoir Grunch.
Gunch. Wait, Grunch or Gunch?
Grunch in this case.
Grunch. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I do also want to say the belly laughing thing. I do think it is actually such a win that I got to marry someone who does make me laugh as hard as you do, because that is something that I really value. I've always valued, and I do 100% think you are the funniest person on the planet.
I will say, when someone says belly laugh, it makes me really uncomfortable because I just picture like,
Cute win.
Literally me.
and I'm like, that's not what's happening.
I mean, it's coming from deep within my soul.
Really?
It's not a shallow laugh.
Okay.
And I do it a lot. I actually don't realize how often I do it until I listen back to the podcast. I'm like, man, I laugh hard a lot.
Speaking of laughing deep, Dane, I have an ombuds to do.
Yeah.
What?
What you know
Yeah.
about rolling in the deep?
So
with me?
on a past episode, we were talking about Watergate and the deep throat guy, the codename deep throat guy. I looked it up after the fact, and it turns out that guy, like, he the explanation on Wikipedia was like, the name deep throat came from the fact that he had like essentially like deep secrets or deep knowledge of whatever, and then as an aside, it was like, but also he's a really big fan of the pornographic film Deep Throat. And I was like, no, I'm pretty sure it's that. It's not the other stuff.
Right, that was just the cover.
Right.
Because back then you couldn't like really say, oh, I just really like Deep Throat, like the porn, and that's why you had to come up with a cover.
Right.
Because back then that was like, you know.
But yeah, I mean,
That was
it
on Wikipedia.
interesting. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Wikipedia. Yeah,
Deep Throat.
bizarre.
It's not because he had a deep voice or anything. That's
I don't think
what
so.
I thought.
No.
I might have just made that up.
But yeah, I mean, I looked it up because I was curious, and I actually
Well, you know
thought
what they
were
say
lying.
about curiosity.
It killed the Deep
It
Throat.
killed the cat.
Oh, it did. Wait, are you the cat, Dane?
No,
Don't
Ian's
die?
the cat in this case.
Oh.
He was risking his life looking
Oh.
this shit up
That's true. If the FBI
instead of
looks
just
into
believing
you.
me.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be illegal to be searching deep throat origins.
You didn't believe? Wait, so you didn't believe that you thought I was like making stuff about
No.
Deep Throat?
See, Dane,
I stopped doing that.
your feelings are completely valid because it's how I feel when he does this to me. It's not you specific. Ian does this thing where his brain just goes, I need to know for sure because I would like to share this information with someone else later and I don't want to be wrong. So then he'll look it up. It's not a you thing. It's not because he doesn't believe you. I mean, it
No,
is
that's
because
smart.
he doesn't believe you, but he doesn't believe anyone, including me.
No, it's smart to do that. I should probably do that more often, to be honest, because I do believe what people say a lot of the time, and then
same.
when I repeat it to other people, they're like, "That's not true at all."
No,
And
that's
I'm
what
like,
happens
oh, well,
to me too.
well, then
It sucks to
That-
be
don't blame me.
bamboozled in that way.
Yeah,
most of the
he-
time
no
I'm just
one's
like, "Oh,
fault.
somebody told me that, so I don't know."
Yeah,
They were
see,
wrong.
Here's the difference between us and him, Dane, is we go through that and we're like, oh, that sucked, but I'm fine. Like, I'll just admit that I like was wrong. He hates it. Like, he
Yeah,
hates
yeah.
when he repeats something that's wrong. It's like one of his biggest pet peeves. So that's
see.
why he looks into it. It's not a you thing. It's a him thing.
Is that true, Ian?
Yeah, totally. I liked actually that you guys told me that I was spreading fucking propaganda as well with the manifesto.
But did you notice? I don't know. Actually, I think I cut
I did
away from
say.
you. But he
I'm gonna look that up.
didn't. You didn't say it. You just did it. out of the corner of my eye, I saw you on your phone. I was like, he's definitely checking to see if it was from the fake manifesto.
It's too much to read right now. Well, I really just wanted to figure out, well, what does the real manifesto say?
It's very short.
Yeah, because I was just like, this is a bunch of fucking horse shit. Like,
yeah, the fake one is like he said that his mom, he heard his
so
mom.
long.
Like, that wasn't him.
Crazy.
Most manifestos are long.
Yes, but the interesting thing about him is that in a lot of his like criticisms of books that he was reading is that they were like bloviating too much and they're not pithy. There's even a tweet of him complaining about Jordan Peterson, saying that he fucking talks too much and like doesn't get to the point and like overcomplicates things. So
Yeah,
it's just very
it's totally within his
to-
character to make a short
Yeah.
and sweet message.
Yeah. But it's
Short
not
and
your
sweet.
it's not your fault. Like people were sharing that manifesto, like media was sharing it and stuff.
A bunch of fake news came out around around it
because people
very
just
early
wanted to
on.
launch it very quickly and
People somebody made like a fake YouTube channel and stuff.
Oh yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah.
oh, that was another thing that I was doing is I was looking. So many people had Pokemon video, like competitive Pokemon videos, talking about Breloom back in 2022 when he was really competitive, and I was like, oh fuck, one of these is Luigi.
Oh,
One of these is going to be Luigi. I'm going to click on it and it's going to be like, hey, everybody.
it's me, Luigi. My suit's custom.
I have a plot to murder a health executive in 2024.
Yeah, there was seeds.
Yeah, exactly.
There were signs.
Oh, bullet seeds.
Can he learn bullet seed?
He can.
Mm-hmm.
He can.
I was desperately looking at some of the flavor text of Breloom as well. It's so crazy that like every Pokemon game, for whatever reason, not every game, but like all of them have a random flavor text description of every Pokemon, and it changes subtly for what would be like no fucking reason.
It's fun.
They're just like, we need to come up with better wording for this. It's like...
Sometimes I feel like they've made it
Breloom's
more dark
crazy.
over time.
Yeah, as they decide on like lore for the Pokemon, they're like, all right, let's get into this shit.
Especially the
set
ghost
kills
Pokemon.
Other Pokemon.
Well, what?
Breloom might be a rapist this season.
Well, wait. Isn't there a Pokemon who stole a child and had
Something like that.
and killed the child or something recently or something? Wasn't that a part of the lore
I didn't see that in the
recently?
news.
Like a mudkip or something? Not a mudkip. No, it was a it was the third Evo of I think it's Quilava.
Stealing children?
Yeah, but it wasn't actually a Quilava. It was like another Pokemon that shapeshifted into Quilava or something.
Oh, this wiki says evil Pokemon entries or evil Pokedex entries.
I can't remember. There was some
Many of the dark Pokemon.
Stealing a child
Oh.
or something.
Hypno actually kidnapped a kid in Fire Red and Leaf Green.
Yeah, there's some evil shit. There's some evil shit.
I like talking about it like it's the guy Hypno.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hypno, not a Hypno.
No,
Yeah.
no.
The Hypno.
Yeah. They're stealing kids in those. And apparently, I think maybe it's Bruxus, like, sucks the freaking blood out of other Pokemon or something.
That's crazy.
Really?
Yeah, I
The
think
British
so.
Pokemon?
British Pokemon.
That was also another thing I was digging into for Luigi's Breloom was looking at the anime and seeing what because there's different types like Sabrina's Breloom, and I saw like 2 people known to have Brelooms on the show, and I was like, oh, maybe they have a dark fucking healthcare story or something around them.
No, it takes place in
Pokemon lore.
Japan, so that would never happen.
Yeah. Yeah. But Luigi did spend time in Japan. And
He's very critical of Japanese culture, which turned a lot of people against him, which I think
Yeah.
is very funny.
I do find it interesting. There was one guy who worked with him on his Substack. It's verified. It was like one of the guys who did follow him, and he leaked some of their conversations. And one of the conversations that they did have, I found very interesting. And I think that it's true for all societies. I don't think this is like explicitly a Japanese thing, although I'm sure in societies where politeness is like valued over anything, it's probably more potent. But he was basically talking about how there was a guy having a seizure. And so he like sprinted over to get help. And the police or whoever was like helping him, the officials, they wouldn't cross streets that had the light like telling them not to cross, even when there was no traffic, to get to this guy faster. They would like wait. And he called it like NPC behavior. And it like really frustrated him at the time. And I don't think that's a Japanese thing. I think that's like,
I think he was just frustrated at the authoritarian thing.
And that's everywhere though. Like
I did see
worse.
that, but that's less critical of Japanese culture. Is I saw him in a tweet saying that Japan apparently has been having like population control issues or something. Like the population is dwindling.
The maid cafe criticism and
and he was responding to somebody who said that immigration was the solution to that, and he was like, no, immigration isn't the solution, and he gave a bunch of solutions to make the country more social with each other. And in that, he included like putting restrictions on like pornography and things like that. And I think people were just like, "What? Don't do that." There were just a lot of people on Twitter who are just like, "This guy doesn't know what he's talking about." I think that a lot of the ideas that he said in that tweet are actually very good ideas, but I wouldn't consider it like racist or anything. I think it's like just Japanese culture has infamously been becoming more and more loner specific, and you know, it is a problem that needs to be solved.
I think people took him saying, this is my interpretation, could be completely wrong. I think what some people are saying or thinking that he was saying is that immigration shouldn't happen. Oh, Fiona just kicked the sorry. That immigration shouldn't be a part of the population solution and that he's anti-immigration. I didn't take that from it. But if that was his position, like I would agree that is like that is racist. Like
I don't think that that's what he was saying. Yeah,
but I think though, what people are being unfair about, in my opinion, is like Japan specifically has, similar to America, has a really bad problem with like valuing working people to death. Right, like there's like a whole culture around basically working so hard that you have to drink to like cope with how much you're being overworked. You're incredibly isolated. These are things that are happening in America as well. Like this is it's a problem. We're very antisocial in a lot of Western imperialized countries here, you know, so just because he was observing it in Japan, until I hear him say, I don't think America has that problem, I wouldn't view it as like a racist thing, personally.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's
I think that he was just weighing in on like ideas for socializing a population. Yeah. Like as a government, which I think is a fine conversation to have and doesn't scream racist to me. At all.
I think it's to me that felt like a very sensitive reaction to, because I have all those criticisms for America, you know, I have those criticisms for
I would
Canada.
say like America is headed in that direction.
Yeah, it's getting worse, you know, like convenience. I mean, we're installing kiosks in places everywhere you go. You don't even have to like talk to employees to like order things anymore. So like, you know, convenience, it's automation and convenience is dangerous to like if you want people to meet and like talk and have a healthy social. I think the internet is dangerous to that. So I don't know. It's a nuance. I think we need to stop like finding perfect people online.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's like people have found little nitpicks that they have about him, and they're just like, yeah, that guy sucks. It's like, you know, he's just a dude who wanted to make a statement in the most radical way that you can make a statement.
Yeah.
And he's losing his life over it. I mean, he must have known that was going to happen. Yeah. So.
Yep.
Well, Anissa?
Ian?
Dane?
What?
It's about that time.
What? God.
Like you just woke me up.
Yeah. What the hell?
Thank you, everyone, for watching. We really appreciate your comments. Keep them coming. There were a lot of lovely supportive comments in the last episode.
A lot of
and
gunchments.
it absolutely made my entire week.
A lot of gunch engagement.
Also, if you want to listen to this podcast on Spotify, we're there. We're on basically any and every Spotify or
Anywhere
podcast
you get your podcasts.
that. Yep, we're looking to make a gunchmas.
And we're all hot.
So, aside from all of that, hasta.
La vista.
He goes, bang, bang.